Hello and welcome to a later poetry challenge. I had a quick call I had to do before this poetry challenge, so I'm running a little bit late, 11 minutes exactly, which it is not the 11th. I think I might have said that it was the 11th. Anyways, I saw 11th somewhere. It's poetry challenge. So, and I have something special today to share. It is Librarian Day. So I know you can't really see this, but this is my library. This is a decal they were just giving away to celebrate, uh, libraries, because libraries are something to celebrate. And I have this to share, and this is from one of my favorite library friends, who you may be familiar with as Amy Zoeller's The Breakfast Poet, who you can see in the scrolling bar down there. You can catch her on Instagram every morning. And I'm going to read a couple poems out of this and talk about this amazing treasure of a little book that she has been giving away right now. But first, I'm probably going to have dogs howling because a siren's going by, and that is the siren that sets off the dogs. Let's see. We're trying to train them not to howl, so we'll see if that happens. It looks like it's happening, as in not happening. Yay! All right. So there is hope because we have 5 dogs now. Yogi found his forever home, and apparently Chief has learned not to howl, which is amazing. So first, I just want to talk about libraries for a minute because it is National Library Day. No, I'm sorry, this is Librarians Day. We just had National Library Week. And this is the day to celebrate your librarian. And I want to give a special shout out to all the librarians out there. When I was a kid, I was like the homely, weird kid that nobody wanted to be friends with. And libraries were my refuge. And I spent a lot of time at libraries, and I would just read. I'd so many books, and the librarians were just so accepting and loving, and they offered me a place of refuge, and they are still doing that today. And I often hear people say, what do you need libraries for? Everything's on the internet. It is. It is a lot on the internet. There's a lot that you can't get on the internet, though, in book form, paperbacks that you have to buy the book if you want to get it off the internet in ebook. But also, there's still that place of refuge. And when I was working as a librarian, well, I'm not a licensed librarian, or I know you have to have a degree, but I worked in a library. And I think we colloquially called ourselves librarians. There was still a lot of people that were using the library as a refuge. So shout out to librarians. Even today with the internet, you are vital and needed, and I appreciate you. And I still go to the library all the time. And one of the reasons we bought our house is because there's a library very close. And now, on to poetry. This treasure, Amy Zoeller's, I don't know if she has any of these left to give away, but she crafted these books. You can see, she sewed these books herself. I guess it's hard to see, but you can see that this is sewn. She carved lino print to print the covers, and then she printed all the pages and collated them. And there are only, I think, maybe 20 of these. I can't remember how many she made, but there's only a very few of these. And I just want to say, what an incredible treasure. And thank you to Amy, because it is literally, it's a handcrafted book, and rare. And this is going on my shelf of treasured books alongside Neil Gaiman, a signed book by Neil Gaiman, and some R.L. Stine books, and some Jonathan Mayberry books, and Linda Addison signed books. This is going on my shelf of treasured and first editions. And yeah, this is not only a first edition, but it is a handcrafted and rare edition. So thank you, Amy. You can contact her on Hypness and Outrage to see if she still has any of these left. She is actually sending these out to people as well. So, like, what an amazing gift. I feel lucky that I got to get it in person and signed to me. So I just want to say thank you, Amy Zoellers, poet extraordinaire, for this amazing book. And I asked her yesterday if I could read a few poems out of this book, and she said yes. So And I haven't gotten to read the whole thing, but last night I was reading and eating cereal, which is kind of one of my favorite things, even though I really try not to eat the cereal anymore. And these are two of the ones that I was just like, wow, I love this poem. So, her habit is a liminal space, a bar in the cosmos, born to a planet of artists, exiled, no daylight, just stars, a soothing hum of life force. Ah, my quarters, so many shades of green, starry porthole, conversation pit, jelly bed, exquisite solitude. Here at the bar, I play my harp chime boring, and write my ghost stories, guzzling intergalactic. Wow, if I could speak. I'm going to start that stanza over. Here at the bar, I play my harp chime boring, and write my ghost stories, guzzling intergalactic coffees, crowned with a hot, fizzing, glittering cola coffee. Coffee cola. I think I'm still waking up. I am the second breakfast poet, and this is my first breakfast, which I have not yet had. But I love this poem and the idea of being in absolute, a space station or a planet of artists that just sit and do kooky things and be our kooky selves in space with cool things like glittering coffee cola, which now I want. I want that to be a thing. And then this poem really leapt out of me because it was a shared experience we had. I actually have the book on my shelf over there, but we recently came across Dali's 50 Hints for Artists or Best Kept Secrets of the Magic of Art or something like that from Salvador Dali wrote this book. And at the beginning of the book, he says something about, I will give you the great secret. You imagine him twisting his mustache. I'll give you the great secret of art at the end of this book. And so, of course, I flipped to the end of the book because I want to see what is the great secret. And the secret was basically be Dali, which I thought was so hilarious and pretentious, but funny and what the heck ever. So I wound up, that was a library book. I checked it out from the library first. I wound up buying a copy because good on you, Dali. And so this poem mentions that book. It references that book. So her habit is, if painting doesn't love you, said Dali. I love how he made it about painting and not about God. Painting the entity. The other one, I considered him terribly brave. But maybe he consumed those quantities of drugs to be brave until he learned how. I learned how by wearing a hat and costume jewels to fool myself into hysterical artistic glamour. The glass jewels contained the bravery until I learned it. Not as flashy, I grant you, but I kept my teeth. So, and both of those poems are unpublished from Hot Soda, a handcrafted book from Amy Zoellers, one of my favorite poets. And that, and she's, the tie-in is she worked at a library with me. Like we worked at a library together for a while. So yes, this is one way I'm showing appreciation for a library person. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the readings from Hot Soda, and I will be here tomorrow again on time, unless I have another emergency phone call to do. But happy poeting, and I will see you tomorrow.